I'm Julia Donaldson, and here sitting next to me is my most famous creation, the Gruffalo. I'm the author of a book called The Gruffalo. Actually, I sometimes get a bit fed up when the Gruffalo tries to take over, because I have written a lot of other books. I've written very many picture books, mainly in rhyme, for young children, and I also write novels for older children. And I've written a lot of songs, I've written plays, and I've just finished writing a teenage novel. When I was 5 years old, my father gave me a big fat book for my birthday. I've still got it here. It says, "With love from Daddy to Julia on her 5th birthday." It's called The Book of 1,000 Poems, and I learnt lots of these poems by heart. I absolutely loved them. And I used to go around reciting them, and I started writing little poems of my own. And at that stage, when I was 5, I did want to be a poet. I often get ideas for books when I'm walking along, or when I'm doing the washing up, or very often when I'm in the bath, not really when I'm sitting at my desk with a pen or at my laptop. But often I write the book in my head. And when I'm really sure what the story is going to be, I get a big fat book, and this is actually the book which I wrote The Gruffalo in. And I just brainstorm, I just write everything that comes into my head that maybe could go in the story. Here, this is when I was trying to decide what the Gruffalo would look like. I've written toes, nose, horns, thorns, spots, stripes, eyes, feet, tail, pale. I'm obviously trying to look for rhymes for the Gruffalo's appearance. When I was a little girl and I just learnt to read myself, I taught my sister how to read. And I've always been interested in how children learn to read. And recently I've actually written 46 phonic reading books, which are called songbirds, and they're teaching children to read by really the quite old-fashioned method, where you learn the letter sounds and the spelling patterns. They start off very, very simply. There's a book about Bob Bug. Almost all the words are very short and simple. Poor Bob Bug thinks he sees a big bad rat in the night, and it's just really a shadow in his room, and it ends up, Bob Bug has a hug. So although it's quite a simple, easy to read story, I think children will be able to identify with it, children who have nighttime fears. I think the Scottish Book Trust is absolutely brilliant. They do all sorts of things, but the thing which means the most to me is the author visit scheme which they run. They help pay for schools and libraries to get authors in, and you can have such a wonderful time doing this. It's very beneficial to the kids, I hope, anyway, and it's lovely for the authors. I love visiting schools, especially when the children are well prepared and they've read your books and they're quite excited to meet you.
Pull a funny face, move your eyes and nose and mouth all over the place.
I went to an absolutely lovely school in Wick in the very north of Scotland, and the children there put on a show in the town hall. I actually visited that school for a week, and they made all sorts of wonderful props. This is a fish called Tiddler, and they acted out my story, Tiddler. They all had fish on sticks, and they just got such a lot out of it and were so enthusiastic. It's a lovely feeling. You go away with quite a glow when you go to a good school like that.